Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are doing a meal prep tutorial for all of our reptiles. As you can see, we are looking at our setup here. I don't know what you want to call it. Olivia, my girlfriend, will be helping me today. That's her hand, as weird as that was. So first, and we're doing this mostly because we're going away for vacation, right? So I'm prepping meals for the week for the sitter. But this is what I'm going to start doing in general every Sunday or something, just so I can get it out of the way one day a week. A lot of people do this too. So let's start off with Frappuccino. So Frappuccino is going to get some salmon the first day. Farm raised, really good for them. Fish you want to be a little careful with where you get it for Tegus and stuff like that, but farm raised salmon is good. So I just got a little bit of a fillet. I think Olivia is going to label for me. So I would do Wednesday, put whatever Wednesday's date is on there, and then put Frappuccino or Tegu, whatever. So I don't really know if it's necessary, but I like cutting off the skin and just focusing on the meat. So I will just, and of course salmon's really easy. I actually probably don't even need a knife. Just rip this off. Salmon is so easy raw to just peel. So I'm just going to rip this back, and I'll probably put it into a little bit more pieces. I don't think he'll eat all of this as well, so some of this isn't going to go in there because this is a lot of meat. Alright, so I'm going to rinse this under some water real quick, and then I'm going to cut it. Alright, so I'm going to bag this. Toss it in there. They're just gallon bags. You could probably get away with something smaller. I'll probably do that next time. But right now we have gallon bags.
We have smaller bags.
That's fine for now. I mean, whatever you want to do. So I'll put that much meat in there for him. He won't eat all of it, but I think that's fine. Just want to be more safe than sorry. And now we'll get some fruits and veggies for him. Alright, so for fruits for this day, I'm going to give him kiwi since that's his favorite. So I'm going to just cut off this. And then I'll cut off the end here. Good thing with kiwis that I like with tegus, if you don't have to shed off the whatever, what's it called, Olivia?
The skin.
The skin, yes, the skin. You can keep that skin right on there. So I'll just cut like about 3 of them, and I cut them into 4s. There you go. Alright, now for veggies for his meal, or his greens, I'm going to give him some Belgium endives. So about 3 or 4 of these. I like to put a little extra so he has to eat some of them. Will do good. So we'll put that through a food processor after Olivia washes it, and then we'll throw it in his bag. Alright, so Olivia ran the endives through the food processor after washing them off. They're all mixed in here. This meal's complete now. We're just going to do the rest of the days and then move on to the next reptiles.
So we went ahead and did the next 2 days for Frappuccino, and these are all done. They look delicious. And John's just finishing that last one.
What's in each one of them?
So this is banana, some greens, and some ground turkey.
What greens are in here?
You know, the greens. And this one is some greens, some bell pepper, and the ground turkey as well.
Okay, so the last day what we're going to do is we're going to use some, chicken hearts, gizzards, and lizard.
We're gonna feed them lizards.
We're gonna give them gizzards, hearts, and livers. Then we're gonna mix in some of this organic yellow squash that I'm cutting up, and I think the last green that I haven't used is kale. I believe in one of these is mustard greens, and the other one's collard greens.
Alrighty, so this is the last bag. John has put some hearts and gizzards in here, as well as some butternut squash. And we have some very finely kind of chopped kale. It looks amazing. And that's the last one for the Tegu.
Now on to Max, my bearded dragon. We're going to do 4 days of meals for her. The first day we are going to do a mix of endives. I'm going to kind of cut these up a little bit more. Some organic bell pepper and some collard greens. So that's going to be the mix of the first day. So I just ran it under some water, but what I just do is I don't really even cut these, I just pull them apart. I don't like to leave them too long. Some people leave them longer for beardies, like the full leaf, but I don't, just because she doesn't like her greens, and if it gets in her mouth, I don't want to give her the opportunity to spit it out. So yeah, I just rip them up, but these are the endives and the collard greens, and then I'm just going to run my cut up bell peppers under the wash real quick, and then I'll throw them in the bag, and that will be the first day. Alright, so for the next day for Max, I'm going to give her some yellow organic squash. This is her favorite. She's had this since I first got her, so not that, you know, she's thrilled about anything healthy, but if she was to be, this would probably be her number one thing. And then for that day, I'm going to do some, let's do some kale. She loves kale. And maybe mix in some mustard greens. So I'll see you guys after I go ahead and rip all that up. Alright, Olivia, you want to show off the last 2 days we prepped for Max?
Alright, so these are the last 2 days. There's collard greens and mustard greens in here with some squash. Some
kind of squash? Yellow
squash. And then we have some endives, collard greens, and some butternut squash for the last day.
Alright, the last prep we have to do is for 4 days for my Russian Tortoise, Tortellini. I have a mix of kale, endives, mustard greens, and collard greens. His favorite, which he gets addicted to, is endives. So I'll probably do just 1 day with endives. I'll make it the first day. Let me take off the outer ones. And then I'll run it under a wash. And this is super easy for, you know, Russian Tortoise. They just eat the greens. So I'm just going to take some greens off, throw it in a bag, and that's pretty much it. So remember, for tortellini, everything should be pretty standard. It's pretty simple. The first day we have is endives. I'm not going to mix anything else with endives. He loves endives, and if it's in the meal, that's all he'll eat. So I just put 3 leaves of endives in there, and that should hold him over for the day. So that's the first day. Here you go, Olivia. The second day that we have prepped for, we have a mixture of, mustard greens and collard greens. Not a fan of collard greens usually, but I try to mix it in with something he likes, like mustard greens. Maybe he'll get a taste for it. So that's the second day. The third day we have prepped is just collard greens. Just a big leaf, throw it in there. Hopefully he'll chomp on it. And then the last day, we have a mix of kale and mustard greens. So that's what we have prepped for tortellini this week. Alright, so it's nighttime here, but you can see we wrapped everything up. We cleaned our station and we put everything away. So how we're doing it is we're going to put the next meal for Frappuccino, which is right there, in the fridge, since that's going to be served soon. And when we use that, we'll take one out from the freezer being over here where all his stuff is, let it kind of semi-defrost in the fridge, and then fully defrost it when it's time. So the other ones, you know, tortellini right here, and then Max in the back. So that's everything. I don't think I'm going to use any of the gallon bags anymore because it's just not enough to fill up a gallon bag. So I'm going to start using these. I think these are quart bags. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely going to continue doing this meal prepping stuff. Alright guys, so like I said, it is nighttime here. Everybody is asleep except for my Cresty, who is just starting his day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was a little worried that it wouldn't be too much content-wise, but it was actually pretty fun. My girlfriend especially always makes things interesting. I really love making videos with her, so it was fun. I hope you enjoyed it like I did. And that's what I'm going to start doing, guys. I'm going to start meal prepping every week. It's just so much easier. I don't have to worry about doing it every day, especially when I get back into my classes in the fall for my PhD and everything. It'll just be so much easier to do it on the weekends. So I'll definitely be doing that moving forward. I definitely want to get some Reptilinks too, and hopefully I'll do a video on that in the future. Anyway, guys, that's about it. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Next video, we have a fun one coming. We have Frappuccino's first true free roaming adventure. I know I've had him free roam a little bit in this room. You've seen that probably a couple times before, but now he's gonna have quite the run of the house. So I want to see what crevices he finds, really find out what I need to block off in the future. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks.